Right, welcome back everyone, I'm Evil Tim and this is Let's Play Homefront. Yeah, Let's Play Homefront. This is me testing my capture card, by the way. So let's cut out 13 seconds of a completely black screen and then we will carry on to all of this nonsense. This game is powered by GameSpy, a strange spyish man who works for a company. What company is that? Well, it's a company called Thuck. At least I think that's how you pronounce that. And Chaos Studios, he also works for them. Chaos Studios, I believe, made the Desert Combat mod for Battlefield 2, then later made a game called Frontlines Fuel of War, which was about everyone running out of oil and yet still having enough to have tanks fight each other in a place. But that's not what they're making this time. Instead, they are making this game. This game has an autosave feature, which makes the disc rotate like that, you see. So, ignoring that, let us press start so we can stop being blindfolded. We'll check the colour, but we won't care about that. Instead we'll rotate this around because I had to screw around with the options menu, and then we will admire the Bernity Church. But enough of the Bernity Church, let us instead start a single-player campaign-type mode. Here we go. The disk accessing thing will appear for a moment, and then we will move straight to Hillary Clinton, who will tell us things.
And took the lives of 46 South Korean sailors was fired by a North Korean submarine.
I knew it! And that's not a torpedo. Oh noes. Specifically, it being a 60-year-old American atomic test upshot not whole Grable. Could have at least used one of those tumbler snapper ones that no one's ever heard of, but no, it's one of the most recognised nuclear tests in the world. That was the one that was fired by a gun. I like how the press X to skip thing has come up already. Even they know this isn't interesting. Who will crush our spirits now? Is written on my knuckles. Right. Okay, so we zoom out in a stylish manner. Using a silly process shot. Now, I don't know what this is supposed to have in it for South Korea, you know, being led by a mental dictatorship, but apparently there's something to it.
Oil wells and pipelines burn uncontrollably, deeply affecting world supplies.
Because it's not like anywhere else except the Middle East has oil. Thanks for that, one of the game's writers. This game was actually, in case you're not aware of this, this was actually by the writer of Red Dawn. This is not a retreat, we're just all legging it across the sea. It's not a retreat at all. Stop waving fences around, it's childish.
Hours after the president ordered a freeze on bank withdrawals. We don't know where we will get our next meal from.
You can get it from there. No, no, the Asian bird flu epidemic has killed press X to skip. Yes, it is. How many times has that Mexico closes its borders thing been done now? Okay, and then everything fucks up, and a satellite. My god, what villainy is this satellite doing? Well, it's got a red light in it. It obviously belongs to the Brotherhood of Nod, so... The message of peace we brought to the entire world, specifically the bit with the America in it. So, what is the message of peace? It is the message to turn off your lights. I guess that would make things a bit more peaceful. I don't know if this is supposed to be in 3D or something, but yeah, apparently Korean forces have seized Hawaii using stock footage of American and Russian troops moving around. Okay, I have no reason why the Koreans would build F-117s. Okay, so people are jumping out of planes and then descending and landing. Well, that's not any different from normal. US military isolated and scattered. There, but not there. And behind that wall. Okay, so the US military has been isolated and scattered, and he's been isolated and scattered in a very personal fashion. So the occupation has now begun. What occupation is it? It is the occupation of staring at the ceiling. Alright, so we are a bloke called Jacobs. We have no personality, no lines, and really no part in this story at all. And that there was not anything about the video skipping. The game does that too. So let's go over here. We've got a fireplace. That's marvellous. That's where we keep our fire, but we've broken the glass, presumably in a fit of nationalistic anger at the fact that America has become occupied by the Koreans using American equipment. Because they couldn't be bothered to design Korean equipment. Sorry, I mean, there is supposed to be a backstory reason for that, but that's really the size of it. Is this the home of Robert Jacobs? Well, I don't know, so I'm going back to bed. No, I can't go back to bed. There's an invisible wall in front of my bed. Damn you, Korea! Damn you and your invisible wall constructing! No. Haha. And yeah, you can actually stay here forever. It does that Bioshock thing where you can completely defeat the plot by just not walking towards a door. Okay, so let's walk towards the door. My god, it's Shredder. We're doomed. Right, so we're going to be held against this wall in a childish manner.
Why are you so reluctant to serve your country in its time of need?
Because I've had no establishing characterization at all. Have I? Okay.
Patriotism can bring you.
It can bring you ruin and dictatorship,
Kim Jong-un will teach you to unlock your country's natural resources.
which are over here. Contents may vary from those illustrated.
It is a gift to you.
Me, yes, the person you're pointing
You
at.
have forced us to examine your dedication to America's cause.
Unzip his fly! No, hold. Okay, so they're going to smack me in the face. I'm a helicopter pilot, so that's surely going to help me serve their cause. And then, just to help out a bit further, they're going to throw me down a flight of stairs. Oh no, my bookshelf just fell out of my pocket. So I can't really think what that sound effect was supposed to be other than that. Okay, so everyone's going to be herded along here, and we will be dragged towards a school bus, which is an ideal prisoner transport, of course, because they haven't put mesh on the windows or really have any method of stopping you from escaping at all. So here we go, up the stairs. Our eyes are failing us. Okay, and we will be thrown in here by that man. This guy here is not wearing any handcuffs, and this guy here, who is mean, is going to throw us into our seat, and then he's going to pretend to attach handcuffs to us while sort of not doing anything much. And here's a recurring theme in this game. This man is black. He is the first man in the game who is shown being beaten up, and then after that they stick a paper bag over his head because they are small children and think that's funny. But it's not funny, so... Yes, we're sort of like on the Atrocity Ghost train here. There's 10 minutes of this just being driven around watching stuff happen, mean stuff, and there's windmills over there to show that we have run out of power, you see. Meanwhile, they're clubbing a man to death, presumably because they're mean, and there is the dangling wagon, the most fearsome of all Korean punishments. They're herding people around, like animals they are. It's evil of them.
They're rounding us all up for some reason.
Maybe they want us to pilot things. Okay, the first person to be shot in the game, black. Right, that's marvellous. The guy in front of us is black too, and therefore is probably doomed. Alright, there's a family being gunned down in front of their child because the Koreans are incredibly mean and horrid to everyone, including chickens. And they don't like anything soft, fluffy, or nice.
Last night, he says this shit's happening all over the state.
Is it now?
Incidentally,
Incidentally, if you're hearing a very loud whirring sound, that's my computer trying to take off. Meanwhile, here is a tank. I want to drive the tank. Fuck the rest of this. Let me off this. I want to play around with them. Damn it.
Labor camps. Never gonna see
Labor camps need fuel. I've never seen most of those people before anyway, so that doesn't really help. Alright, meanwhile, there's an excavator thing here with a Gatling gun on it. Hooray. In case you can't read the subtitles, they're taking us to Facility 1138. Yes, it's a THX 1138 reference. Hooray. But meanwhile, this silly Gatling gun contraption is shining its spottle light upon these people. I'm not entirely sure why, because it's supposed to be radar guided, but never mind that. It's there to tell the player how to evade it. Please have our peepers ready, and they're throwing people into ditches too. Is there any end to their meanness? Next we'll round a corner and find them rolling Oscar the Grouch's trash can down a hill or something. Or doing other thoroughly un-American things. Maybe they'll be kicking bald eagles. No, I've just noticed you're black, so I don't think you're going to get there. No, instead a semi-truck is going to crash straight into the side of our school bus because that is the most efficient means of rescue the rebels could think of, apparently. As we're about to see. So here is Stabby McStabberson here to climb through here and give that man what for, and then he will give this man what for, because he's still moving around, and listen to his unsynchronized sound effect here. Listen out. I've no idea why that sound effect is so wide of the mark, but it is. Anyway, this is Connor.
You can thank me later.
No, I'm not going to thank you at all, don't worry. Okay, so let's get up here, and then we will have to pick up a gun, apparently. But we're not actually going to do that for a minute, because I will show you another recurring theme here. And yes, the first guy with any major lines at all, black. And he's dead, so... Yeah, so the skyboxes don't actually match up with anything which is above them. Here there is the roof of a bus, and yet we can see clouds reflected in the broken glass. And we'll see how many different lines he can have. No, he's back to looping already. So we'll pick up our gun. This is an M9 type pistol here, so that's great. This man's having a dangle, and that's unclean, so let's leg it. Out we go, and to White Castle, because this game has an inexplicably large number of brand names. So that was Connor's idea of a plan, apparently. So anyway, here is some intelligence, the only kind you'll find in this game. I hope that when this is uploaded you'll be able to read these, so you can read about the wild fluctuations in the oil market. And so I won't read them out, I will just leave them on screen and you can pause it if you want to read them. And we get a trophy for that as well. So, up here we have people firing at us, so let's jump up here and check out the sandwich prices, which apparently the economy has tanked incredibly, and yet still things are fairly cheap, it seems. So, let's run over here. Okay, start shooting, he says. Alright, I'll start shooting. No, sadly, he's invulnerable. So, let's run over here and shoot at people who aren't invulnerable instead. You're not invulnerable. You're mad and evil. And then we will walk over here and then stab him with a stab. And here we get the T3 AK rifle, which is a Chinese QBZ-03, I believe it's called, but it has a fake pretend type name. Meanwhile, a Black Hawk. However, we can hide from the Black Hawk in here, and it will instead fuck up its hit detection and decide it can try and shoot us through the wall. There you go. I'm not sure what it's all about there. But even though it's over there, it's also over here, and it's dropping men through the ceiling, so we'll have to take them out with our weaponry while NPCs stand in front of us, showing off the advanced modern AI that they clearly do not possess. Let's run over here and ram a knife into this man's everywhere. And we've got a PWS Diablo. That is this game's gimmick weapon, by the way. PWS Diablo is basically just an AR-15 upper, and yet it's heavily promoted throughout this game. And Primary Weapon Systems' website actually says "as seen in Homefront" on it. It's also got itself a red dot sight, and we will see the several types of red dot sight, which really don't have any difference between them at all. So let's walk over here. This thing's counted as a submachine gun, despite the fact it's an assault rifle, and it's actually completely crap in this game. I really don't know why they're promoting this thing, because I hardly ever use it. It's crap. So we'll walk over here now, and we'll get ourselves some more weaponry. Here it is on the Mark II red dot sight, as opposed to the Mark I red dot sight, which is a slightly different coloured... Why does it say red dot sight? It's a green dot. I don't know, it's strange, it violates all the tenets of science, and yet we have, there's the one with the no sight at all, and there is a new one with the Mark III sight. Here we got a bit of lag here, so I've decided to stop the video to make sure that I don't get all unsynchronated, so I will do that very shortly, and we will cut away. Here we go. I'll just rotate that and then continue onward. Hurrah! Right, so now that we've got ourselves a Mark III red dot sight, can you take this kind of progression? I know I can't. We'll walk up here and then we will slash this stuff here. It's telling us grab those frags that are lying around. They're way over there, though. I mean, I was looking all over the place for them here because I didn't think I was supposed to go into the next room before I'd found them. But apparently the anti-logic that this game operates according to had evaded me, and so this man's going to try and club me to death, and my eyeballs are going to explode. That's madness. That's this game's damage effect. Meanwhile, let's throw grenades slightly before we throw them. That's the... interesting of us, certainly. And we'll walk over here, and okay, so we got ourselves this thing which has a holographic type sight and is an M4, and then we'll walk over here and get this, which is the ACR rifle, the game calls it, so it's the Adaptive Combat Rifle, and it's got itself an ACOG scope, but I don't want to stay in here. Fuck staying in here, I'm going to run over there instead, because surely the game won't kill me just for walking outside of a room, will it? Will it? Yes, it will. Alright, so we've been gunned down by, I don't think, anyone. We've fallen over and our arm appears. Alright, so we've got that silly gun made of wrist rails there. I really don't know what that's supposed to be, but they're flying over a stadium, doing bad people things to it, because that's how they roll around here. To throw a grenade. I wonder if there's a button to kill a mockingbird, but never mind. I see that the translator has taken no liberties with the original Latin. So let's walk over here. That man's trying to hide. That's naughty of him, so let's stab him. That's the kind of punishment we have for naughty people around here. This guy's going to try it as well, but he will be no more successful, even though our melee-type attack is incredibly slow and ponderous and stupid. Also, something else you probably won't be able to read is that half of the weapons have Blue 4 written on them, much like they do in that Call of Duty-type game. That is as opposed to Op 4. I am told, but I'm not sure if I believe that. I think the gun belongs to Bluey. He's Louis's brother, you see. So let's walk over here then, and we've got more of these silly Koreans crashing into places. And later though they start calling them Norks, for North Koreans, I guess, which of course is a slang term for breasts, and therefore is extremely immature. I don't know why they call them that, though, considering they are just Koreans. I guess the choice of swear words that could be applied to them would get this game too high a rating. Or it's mean or something, I don't know. So let's get this thing out here and then keep swapping our weapons around for no reason. Let's have a look through our ACOG scope there, which we will use to destroy all of these men. You don't get the ACR very often, but when you do, it's worth using because it's good at stuff, and it's got one of the good firing sound effects, as opposed to many of these weapons which sound weak as all hell. So that's him out of the way. Let's reload that again, and then we will have to hide down here to get all our health back. Here we go. Now this has got a good firing sound effect, and this is our proper hollow sight, which has a crosshair as opposed to a dot, and therefore is very exciting. I guess the reason for all these like meaninglessly different gun sights is basically so that you can be at like prestige level 93 and still be earning shit, even if it is useless shit. So, don't stop shooting, they say, because the gas station's going to blow up. So let's throw grenades at it to assist it in blowing up, and then we'll try it. Oh, it's blown up. Right, hooray. So, the gas station has exploded. Everyone's in one piece. Yeah, don't count them at all. The reinforcements are never going to show up, so let's reload that. Now, one of the things this game copies from Black, actually, is you'd have thought that it would be a bit too racist to copy from a game called Black, but never mind. One of the things it copies is that you actually reload faster when you are under fire, which is good if you want to reload faster, but bad because you have to be being shot at to do it. And apparently the fire doesn't like this part of the oil, it only likes the bit over there, so we'll just ignore the lame fire effects and run away, we will. Yes, through there, and wave our arms around in a terrible fashion. So let's go over here, pick up a few weapons, and then we will continue on our quest onwards, and we'll get another one of those intels, but first stuff will explode in a dramatic manner. Okay, let's grab the Scar-L rifle first. Show you the Scar-L rifle. Where's the Scar-L rifle? You're a Scar-L rifle. Let's pick it up. Here we go, and it's got sights on it, you see, and it fires in unscientific 3-round bursts like the weapon doesn't. So let's throw that rubbish away, and then we will carry on onwards. We have got to move along, you see. Here we go. Those little dots that you can see on the top of that are a backup site, and here I stopped because I was looking at GameFAQs to find out where all of these intels are, and didn't notice the one that was directly in front of me because I'm a genius, damn it. Here we go. Kim Jong-un promises to protect Koreans worldwide with his insane idiocy by invading America, where there are a lot of Koreans, you see. So, is this guy one of like the parents from Peanuts? And hearing over the radio, I don't know. But never mind that. Apparently, got a radio stuck in our ear or something. So let's run over here over this sawtooth. That's what these kinds of structures are called in video games. It is a thing that you can walk over in only one direction because you are in an invisible wheelchair or something. So here's another one of these intels, and here is the North Korean missile test failing, which has already happened in real life and therefore is completely uninteresting. So let's try and crawl under this thing here. Here we go. But we stand up too early, my god. It's a terrible obstacle. So let's go around here and yay, a tank! A very light tank, apparently. So that's going to drive off around there. And this is one of the things that this game does, is there is often cases where if you don't do exactly what the NPCs do, the game will kill you out of pure spite. Because here, of course, are substantially fewer men than we just fought, but you can't defeat them. If you do, you'll get killed by the tank over there. Or you'll get killed by them, or you'll just get killed arbitrarily, and these people will insult you regardless. So, the tank's going to look directly at us. Apparently it's not a very observant tank, it just stops there. And on his mark, we have to run. We have to run. Run-a-tee, like a man would. Here we go.
Now, go!
Hooray! Right, okay, let's do our rowdy, roady, rodney run over here, like. And we can dash in a silly, runny manner. And here I stopped for a minute because, again, I was looking at the thing and it said it's near the blue house. Unfortunately, it's on the other side of the blue house, you imprecise GameFAQs writer you. So that wasn't helpful. So we'll just hang around here until the tank notices us. There it goes. And then we will run over another one of these sorty things. It's amazing how many one-way force fields there are in America, really. It must be one of the hazards of suburban America that you read about in the press. The Korean Republic apparently is having a peacekeeping mission to Nigeria to prove that it is on the world stage, and insultingly they even offer to have a peacekeeping mission to America, which they're currently having, which is going over there. As soon as they find some peace, they'll have to keep it. Yeah, you kicked the hornet's nest, you girl.
I read your file, Jacobs. You'd better live up to it.
Oh good, I haven't read my file. Can you tell me who I am? And we don't know what that reason is, so we're going to have to lead him there for him to tell us. I'm sure you could find one that didn't involve driving a semi-truck into the side of a bus too, you rampant prick, but you did. So, let's go over here and find another intel! Hooray! Aircraft carriers decommissioned, Navy to downsize. Well, actually, I think we'll find the John C. Stennis later, but for now, that is completely irrelevant. You also notice the pickup item thing keeps appearing, even though we don't have an item to pick up. But here is another item to pick up. The global economy bites back! Oh no, we should shouldn't have bought so many fleas. But anyway, let's carry on into a garden here, where there is an aircraft tail in the distance. There we go, we're meant to climb up into the treehouse, because it makes sense for us to do that. But first let us admire this rustic destroyed furniture and blue thing. And there is the tail of a plane with fictitious livery. So we're going to climb up here now, we're going to admire that cart first, and up we go, up the Steinge. That's not a word. Alright, so up here we go, and we will find tragic notions of America. Here we go, there's a teddy bear here, and look, the children were once happy. They were playing on the swings, but then career, and then career again. You also notice they managed to attach this to a wooden board with fridge magnets, which is fairly unique of them. Also, if you look behind you during that sequence, you will find that there's a little hatchway that closes with a wooden board. But now we're going to be blasted, because apparently being up there was unfair, and the teddy bear will be sent on a journey. Refuse, resist, it says there. I guess we just have to pick one. So reload that, and now we will have to take out men who are appearing directly in front of us on an aeroplane's wing-like. A suspiciously undamaged aeroplane, considering it apparently fell out of the sky, but never mind, it got magnetic pulsed, you see. So we'll take out these guys over here. This is actually fairly difficult since I was playing at Gamebridge type resolution. Well, now it's Pinnacle Dazzle type resolution, but never mind that. And I couldn't really see if there even was a guy over there, but there was. So I took him out with my weaponry, and now I'll reload it in a purposeful, all-American manner. You Koreans would never reload it like that, would you? No. So we ran out of ammo for that, so now we've got to take out our adaptive combat rifle, and rifled our ammo with our rifle. There we go. You, sir, have been rifled in a thorough manner. And now, around here, however, it is actually Scar-L country, so we will have to get one of those in a minute. So firstly, we'll whip this out, and it's got one of those ACOG-type scopes as well that they have around here. As is that one. So we'll take this guy out here, and then we'll take out his friend as well. But then I will walk over and find that they both have scars. They are manly and battle-worn, you see. So I'm going to go back and get my own scars, so that they can't brag about them to my friends and make me look like an unmanly soldier. My scar has vile camouflage on it, so it is clearly superior to theirs, which presumably don't. So, as well as that, we're going to have to throw this thing away, because we've got to get ourselves a T3 AK rifle, because that's the only thing they got around here. So we've got to ignore all the PWS Diablo type weapons and pick up this thing with its Mark II red dot sight, reload it, and then there's a guy over here who has been remarkably apathetic up until this point and therefore will be destroyed. No, that's her by the engine. I've already killed the guy who was not by the engine at all, so let's walk over here. He had a scar as well, you see. There's a bevy of scarred gentlemen around here. Also, you can swap this thing out for one with silly camouflage on it. This is one of the few games I've ever played where you can pick up two rifles with different optics on them even though they're otherwise exactly the same. And they get different ammo pools for it. So let's walk over here. We've got one with a Mark I hollow scope, which we've already seen, but never mind. Here it is again. So Mark I hollow scope is this thing, and we will use it to take these guys out, but we'll also throw a grenade at them. Now, the machine gun on the second floor window, you're supposed to be able to see it from here, but for some reason he's decided to move way over to the side, so I'm going to have to do a bit of an unorthodox thing here. So we'll take that guy out there, and then we'll walk across the invisible line on the ground, which will cause an APC to arrive, because, well, there was an APC around in the general vicinity, and it felt like making house calls. So we got to run over here now, and if you don't know that's coming, it will actually just kill you, but it's quite a frequent occurrence in this game. So we'll climb up this impossibly handy ladder here, because, you know, you can't go through doors or anything. That's madness. Are you insane? We've only got heavy weapons. So let's take that guy out there, and then we will make our way into his Heidi McHole. They said get into that window as if there's any other place for us to go. This game really doesn't believe in your intelligence. You could say it insults your intelligence, but it just doesn't even assume you have any. So, 1, 2, 3, and then we will blow it up. Hooray! And all of its surface detail will disappear entirely. Because this was a game made a month ago, I believe. Well, released a month ago. Let's also, we'll fire a single shot out of that, and let me show you the reload animation for this, because it's wrong, you see. The catches that release the feed cover, you see, are actually at the other end. You can see them just there, right by the bar, but he instead just lifts it up as if it wasn't closed in the first place. Shoddy workmanship and foolishness. So anyway, let's get rid of our horrifyingly blinged gun. I do not want to replace it with this one, but I get it out for a minute anyway. Instead, we'll replace it with the M16 rifle here. The M16 rifle here is a single-shot marksman rifle for some reason, which is entirely definitely not like the M16, but never mind that. It's got an ACOG type sight and therefore has technology, which we will use to defeat the alien foe. So we'll walk past their shattered fish finger, and then we will go and find some more intelligence, and also a gun with silly digital camouflage. That is the wrong way. Instead we'll go the right way, which is over here, don't you know? That was for sale, but now it will never be sold. It is tragic, you see. So we'll pick that up, and violence and protest sweeps China as manufacturing jobs disappear, you see, because the US economy tanked, and so China blew up. They never really explain where Russia went, however, but at least not in any of the intels I've read. So let's leg it over here and see if we can find Russia in one of these houses. Instead, however, we're going to find this here. It's another one of these SAW-type guns, but it's got an ACOG scope and silly camouflage. And now the one on the ground also has silly camouflage, even though it previously did not. That's ridiculous. So let's run away from that paradox. And we'll make our way around here to find another one of these documents glowing away. Here we go. US infrastructure crumbles as debt becomes unmanageable. Tax revenues decline. Gasp! Catastrophe! Incidentally, with these, you can't actually find them again in the game. As far as I'm aware, there's no way to read them once you've picked them up, and once you pick them up, they disappear. So the only way to read them, if you forgot to read them, or you pressed circle accidentally, is to be shoved violently to the side because one of the NPCs is crossing at the same time as you. No, it's not. No, the only way is in... Why is that strange? No, the only way is to start the game again. Okay, so let's pick this one up. Here we go. American gas prices rise to record highs as Great Arab War escalates. Egad, that's terrible. He's so charming. I don't wish death on him. Not unless the plane was full of guns. Alright, so this is how the Koreans blew up a Japanese nuclear reactor, and so they surrendered.
Maybe they're not ready to fight.
That's not the kind of thing they should have cut out, after all. Right, so anyway, let's make our way along here.
Boone gave you an order.
Boone gave him an order, so Boone's in charge. So let's see if we can jump over here. No. Okay, so over here we find a refrigerator. Let's see if we can jump the refrigerator. We actually can jump the refrigerator. Here we go. Let's make our jump like a man would. There we go. And unfortunately, impossible, impregnable bushes have defeated us. Oh, don't worry, that's not even anywhere near the stupidest invisible wall we're going to find. Here is another invisible wall. Luckily, he can flip shit over. But here is an invisible wall. My god, look at that plastic sheet. It's impregnable, an invulnerable fortress. I mean, how did Korea invade? They could have just put plastic sheeting everywhere, but that's not it either. Look at this. This is a wall. Because, you know, if we were allowed to access the other half of that garden, you know, the things we could do in there would just be like, oh, I don't even want to think about it. We could, like, just win the game. I mean... Maybe there's an ICBM over there or something, and if we got hold of it, we would just like win immediately. So obviously we can't be allowed to do that. So let's walk over another silly sawtooth. And over here is the Boone man, who is black. Do you think he's going to die later?
There are families here, man. You can't be bringing us this kind of trouble. Everyone, calm down.
Everyone, calm down. I'm holding my arms out. That should calm you down. I'm sure they weren't followed. I'm sure we were, because this is a video game. Alright, so let's see if we're... for some reason he's got a machine gun stuck to his ass, so...
I said don't come here. You risk starting a shitstorm right where these people live.
Right, so she's... Meanwhile, did she pick that up at some stage? I don't know. Alright, so she's going to walk through us here. Ah! You'll be shoved aside here. Apparently we're not really much of a presence in these cutscenes.
I'm Boone Carlson. I founded this. U.S. military is gathering near San Francisco. They need fuel. We have a plan to get it. We need...
Okay, so, yeah, apparently the US military is gathering near San Francisco, but they didn't bring fuel. Alright, now, we can't open doors because we lack a certain piece of anatomy that Boone here has. Behold, he can kick things, but we can't because... Here we go. We've got no legs. That's someone else's leg. Alright, now, there is her baby. She will not shut up about her baby for this entire sequence. So, we gotta take out all of these gentlemen who are trying to come in here and murder her baby for some reason. I guess, like, she is the most important person in the entire street. Maybe her baby is John Connor or something. So we'll toss a grenade out here because they're being terribly mean by trying to kill her baby. And then we will take that guy out over there before he can infiltrate through that window and, I hope you're not easily bored, because this is it, basically, for this entire sequence. You're just standing here, firing your rifle at people as they come upon you and attempt to get you. It's incredibly easy. I've never actually failed at it. I'm not even sure you can. So we'll take that guy out there, and also if you try and walk any further out than this, you will get minigunified by the naughty men in their Humvees out front, don't you know? So load that up there, and then continue onwards. Where are you? Also, they have about 3 pieces of dialogue for the shutting the baby up, so it repeats continually. I guess maybe it's just because they nag you every 10 seconds, so they try to be consistent. Right, so you get out of it. You're a mean person, and you're trying to kill babies, and that's terrible of you. So let's load that up and continue onwards, because you're not someone's baby after all, so killing you is perfectly fine. Right, gun him down and gun him down. Well, of course he's not someone's baby, he's a bad guy. He's completely one-dimensional, and I'm surprised we can even see him. So, you're out of it too, and meanwhile, you're out of it. And we just have to wait until they decide to throw some gas grenades at us, I guess. Alright, we've defended the front of the house for an arbitrary length of time, so let's now walk over here. It's tear gas, they're trying to flush us out, so we still got to wait for him to come and open the door before we can actually get out, so never mind. Let's carry on out back, and she's going to climb over that wall and escape from this terrible place. Meanwhile, I'm going to run over here and escape from this terrible place, but there's no way to escape from this terrible game. I don't know what just flew overhead. I think it was meant to be looking in a specific direction, which I was not looking in. So, over here we go, towards these watery tanks. We shoot looters. That rhymes. We're going to meet up with Hopper, whoever he is. Hopper is Korean. This will be established in, I think, 2 levels' time. But until that point, we really can't tell. Okay, he's having a quick squirt over there. We need Goliath. What's Goliath? Who knows? It's in my pants for her. Okay, so let's load that up. Okay, the target's in his bag, which is like literally a yard away from you. I mean, my god, there's no way he could possibly... Oh, right, okay. This thing here is called a mule. It's a prototype unmanned transport type vehicle thing. And we are going to use our Goliath targeter to move it out there so it can fire its gun at people. This is a vehicle section for idiots. Rather than actually controlling the vehicle, you've just got this targeter so that you can point it in the vague direction of things, and otherwise it just skitters around randomly backwards and forwards, firing its machine gun in an undirected manner. But if you're controlling it, it has rocketry, which it can use to defeat the enemy. There are the enemies, so let us defeat them with rocketry. Hooray! So, we've got to target an unspecified number of Humvees whenever they feel like turning up, so let's whip this out and do that. It seems to have its own ideas about firing too. Basically what I'm doing here is just pulling out the targeter and then hammering R1. Because I've tried holding it down, I've tried just pressing it once, and Goliath often won't fire regardless. So, it's got a brief pause to reload, and then you can whip the targeter out again and you can shoot at things. There we go. Alright, so that's it. They're falling back. There they go, falling back. But I'm going to gun them down anyway. But meanwhile, a UAV has turned up. My god, it's bombing everything, and we just stick our hands up and then the level ends. Alright, so that was the first level of Homefront. There will be more of them posted. There will also be more Turning Point posted, and I am, assuming this uploads properly, I'm going to be starting up Perfect Dark and Goldeneye again. Oh my god, so they did! We were there! Why is this telling us that?
Neutralize high-value citizen targets. But this
Hey! That's why we fight, apparently, because we're idiots.
This was innocent blood running red on Main Street.
Haha, I'm going to break my rifle.
One of the Montrose resistance cells reportedly escaped after a brutal firefight in a nearby neighborhood.
That's us!
We can only hope that these freedom fighters
Very
made it to
small
one of their
resistance
safe
cell.
zones somewhere in a sea of abandoned suburbs.
But if they didn't, well, it's going to be a very short game.
Don't believe the lies of the Korean-controlled media.
Believe our
We are the
lies.
channel of truth.
And again, it's so boring they want us to skip it. Alright, so we're running out of video rapidly. We'll just get to the start of the next level and then we're going to end this. I have been Evil Tim, and this has been Let's Play this game, Homefront. Goodbye.